Alright, so here we go. We're putting the thing back together. We have two brand new ball joints, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove my wire here. Take this whole steering knuckle. And the whole reason why you remove the hub is so you have some play here. I've actually tried this before without removing the hub, and it's real difficult to get the upper and lower ball joint in place. If you're doing one and you have a jack, you might be able to force it back. But the issue is, for example, if you have the bottom one on and you remove this top one, the whole thing comes forward, and if you don't have this hub assembly out, you don't really have any play or movement to line these up and get them threaded. So go ahead and get these going and get this thing back together. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the bottom castle nut on. It's a 22 millimeter, and I think this is the easiest one to get started with. Basically, I'm going to finger tighten it. I'm not going to crank them down until I get both studs in there. Alright, so now we need to, I'm going to take a jack and I'm going to put pressure here and see if I can get this up in the air to bring the upper ball joint closer to this steering knuckle. Alright, I'm going to shut the camera off and get a jack. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it jacked up pretty good. You can see the jack right there. And I had to remove the caliper and set it up here on top, which is probably fine throughout the rest of this thing anyway. So I've got a jack forcing up on the lower air arm, which brought the ball joint stud down into the steering knuckle. And once I lined that up, I just jacked it up. I'm going to go ahead and get these threaded. The bottom one's a 22, the upper one I believe is a 19. Okay, so get the castle nut tightened down, but obviously stop it in a place where you can get the cotter pin through. Alright, onto the bottom one. We just need to put the castle nut on the bottom one, put the cotter pin in, and then we need to mount the hub assembly again. Alright. Alright, there we go. Now we need to mount the center hub assembly and move the camera. Alright, so the backing plate goes like this. So it's sort of toward the front. And then your your ABS sensor comes in here. Like that. And I'm just going to rest it on there. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get one of these bolts finger tightened in here. Alright, so it's time to put the rotor and the caliper back on. I've got the steering knuckle all tightened down. And you want to make sure your brake hose isn't twisted. You may have to spread the brake pads by hand a little bit if they shifted. Alright, and these caliper bolts were 18 millimeter. You can see that or not. Would help to turn the wheel a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause this and go turn the wheel. Okay, so before you tighten the top one all the way, I'm going to do the bottom one. It's easier to get in with this a little bit of slack there. Okay, so with one bolt in, it acts like a pivot, and you can kind of move it up and down until you get the thing threaded. The second bolt. And you can wiggle it around, makes it a little bit easier. Alright, now I need to tighten up the top one because I left it somewhat loose. Again, we're not talking about the pin bolt here, we're talking about the mounting bolt. Unless you change your brake pads, then you might have pulled the caliper pin. Alright, onto the ABS sensor wire. Okay, so I've got this bracket on here. I missed it on the upper ball joint install, the initial piece. So you don't have to, because I'm telling you now. Hopefully you'll watch this all the way through before you attempt this. 10 millimeter. Alright, so we're at the point where we need to get this thing mounted again. And if you recall from the first video, this basically slides back like in a channel. And this just plugs in until it snaps in place. Alright, so next thing we need to do is grease everything up. I'm just going to apply enough grease in these new ball joints to swell out the ball joint boot until I see it swell out a little bit. And while I'm under here, I'm going to hit the tie rod as well. Alright, I'm going to hit the lower one. Again, the lug nuts are 19 millimeter. Alright, I hope this was helpful. Upper and lower ball joint replacement on a 2000 Blazer, but this technique probably is very similar for most vehicles. Again, if you don't have air tools, don't be afraid to try this. Up until about a week ago, I'd be doing it with a pipe and a heavy hammer. Please leave questions and comments below. Good luck. Thanks for watching.